I just bought this BLACK+DECKER 3.0 cubic foot washing machine off of Amazon for about 450 bucks. I'm making this review to show you how many clothes you could fit in here, because I watched a bunch of reviews on this before I bought it and no one really explained anything about the capacity for clothes, which I think is super important when you're buying a washing machine. First off, it's pretty big. It's not much different. Almost, it's probably the same exact size as any normal washing machine. It's pretty big. If you're looking for something a little smaller, if you live alone or you just don't have a ton of clothes to wash, the 2.0 might be better for you, just because it's also going to hold a good amount of clothes, because there's a ton of stuff in here and it's still got a bunch of room. So but as for the size, the total size, it's going to be pretty much the same thing as the 3.0, because the body, the outside is maybe an inch different. They're both pretty big. It's just the drum inside is a little smaller with the 2.0. But yeah, so I'm just going to show you how many clothes I got in here. You could definitely see there's still a ton of room, but just keep in mind what kind of clothes you're putting in here and how many clothes you're putting, because once the water starts soaking these clothes up, it's going to get really heavy, especially if you have a bunch of sweatpants, sweatshirts, like stuff that'll soak up a lot of water. But yeah, I have a pair of sweatpants. I have 2 pairs of basketball shorts, a jersey. I have a t-shirt, a Champion sweatshirt. I have a pair of jean shorts, a long sleeve shirt, another long sleeve shirt. I have a pair of jeans in here, and I have another t-shirt. So definitely a good size of clothes, and it still had a lot of room. But I would say that this is a good amount for a load, just because, like I said, you don't want to put too many heavy clothes, and you don't want the machine to bog down or
Hi, this is my little review on the BLACK+DECKER. I got the smaller model. So I am talking about filling it from the top because I didn't really see very many reviews on that, and couldn't figure I have an apartment, so I couldn't really figure out the connector when you have one of these and how to take this off. I couldn't figure it out. But luckily this extends all the way out, so I could just like rest it in there. I will say my biggest complaint is that this takes so much water, and it takes about maybe 10 minutes to fill up, and it goes all the way to the top. If you don't fill it all the way to the top, it will not spin. So again, 10 minutes of water just running. And something to know is that when it's, sometimes it'll randomly stop spinning. You don't need to fill it with more water, and you don't need to press start and stop. I don't know why, it just has it soak sometimes. So you just have to let it soak, and then it'll keep going after that. You don't need to do anything, even if the light's flashing. I don't know why it flashes. So halfway through it's gonna drain, and you're gonna start your rinse cycle. But in order to start your rinse cycle, you have to take the water and fill it up all the way again, and that's another 10 minutes. So that's probably the most annoying thing, is that you still kind of have to be very present when you're doing your laundry, and it takes forever. So 20 minutes altogether of just filling this with water is pretty frustrating, but I still like that option better than having to wait in the apartment complex, laundry room, or a laundromat. So I do think it's worth it, but I might, if I had to repurchase, I might have looked at a different brand to see how much water it consumes. Yeah, I hope this helps somebody, and hope that answers questions on filling the water manually.
So this is how I have my setup. I bought the stand, I bought that separately, and I also bought the dolly separately. That way it's easy to push over here to connect to my sink. So very easy to push over here since I bought the dolly, because this thing is very heavy and bigger than I thought it was going to be. So just gonna connect this. This cord will be connected to the outlet. And as for this part, it's actually pretty simple. So gotta push that to connect to the sink. And then the other end will be connected into there. All right, so that's connected, and I actually connected it to the cold side because for some reason when I connect it to the hot one, it doesn't come out at all. I don't really mind because you can still turn the water on hot and it'll still come out of this one normally. And then the hose, you gotta make sure it's in the sink because it is going to be pushing out all the dirty water when the washer is in use. See, I like this little thing, how it hooks on there. Okay, so we got the hose in there, and me personally, I put some tape only because, you know, I did walk away from it, and I guess it wasn't on here securely, so it actually, when I came back, the whole floor was like filled with water. So I just put tape, that way if I need to walk away, I'm not worried about it coming out of the sink. So when you want to wash, you just turn on the faucet. And then as soon as you start this, the water will start coming out. And I have to say, this thing does a great job. This is actually the second one they sent me because I was having problems with the first one. So they sent me a replacement, luckily. And yeah, it works really great. I highly recommend this. Yeah.
Here's my Black & Decker. I have it draining into the sink. Not connected to the sink, but draining into the sink. It's awesome. I have it actually plugged into the water line from the toilet. And I have an outlet right here between the two things. And it fits perfectly. Next is the dryer, which would be right up there. But this thing basically like dries the clothes itself, so it's awesome. And no shaking, which is perfect. And drains amazing. See how everything's knotted?
Oh! Say what? This is awesome. I love it.
I love this machine. I'm so glad I bought it. It's the perfect size for my small apartment. Works great. I haven't had a problem with it. I've owned it about 3 months.
Assault. That's failure. Failure. That's pure failure. Failure. Closing arguments were given on March 27th, and the jury retired to deliberate. Before sending them away, Judge